Welcome to Unscripted Gaming. My name is Ray.
I'm Josh.
My name is Mike.
Fuck! No, we're keeping it.
Good enough.
No, fuck it. One take
Good
podcast. Gentlemen.
Explicit content warning. You just had it.
Yeah.
Get out the building now if you're not ready for it, because it's
We have
it's
a video
here.
I'm not
we're
ready.
supposed to-
Bam!
We're supposed to
I can't
upload.
handle this.
It's
All
of us
right.
playing.
It's okay.
It's of us playing Overwatch, and I forget if it was Josh or Mike that said we're a family-friendly podcast. I'm like, I think we say fuck at least 8 times during each podcast. And by the way, we're like inebriated.
This
for,
is
like, most
wholesome
of each
content,
one.
Ray.
Like,
I
right
don't
now,
know
I'm
what you're
drinking.
talking about.
I know Mike is drinking.
I'm just gonna apologize to my mom. Mom, I'm sorry.
Hi, Mike's mom.
She says we swear.
Anyways.
This is Josh.
She says we swear too much. I don't know. I'm just putting that out.
Mike's
there.
mom is awesome.
Let's talk about video games. What's going on?
We
guys?
should, but before we do, I have to say Lego Batman. I saw that the other day. That was a great.
I'm hearing good things.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That movie had
It's the
that
best.
movie had me cracking up in the first 5 seconds.
It's
It
the-
brought me to my knees in the first 5 seconds.
It's the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight.
Wow.
I will agree
Actually,
with that.
real spicy. It's the best Batman movie since Batman Begins.
Ooh, man, he really went there.
I mean, Batman Begins is good, but The Dark Knight is better. Whatever. We're not getting into this. We're not going to have this.
Okay, that's a good point, actually.
We're not going to do it. Heath
We'll
Ledger is the American
come back to
treasure.
this.
Okay?
I think this deserves a separate podcast.
It might.
Okay. You guys would be surprised. I don't know. You know what? Never.
I have some feelings about that
So let's
movie.
talk about.
We'll talk about it. We'll set up a
When you think
podcast.
about it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm
Okay,
done.
we'll talk about it.
I promise.
This
I'm
better
done.
not be the feelings where you think Cloverfield was a great movie.
Cloverfield was a great
is
movie.
okay at best.
Cool.
You know what else
Why
is
am
a
I
great
walking
movie?
into these bear traps? We're moving
Cinematic
on.
masterpiece.
No, fuck it, we're
Crash.
moving on. So I want to cover something in legal news today before we get the ball rolling. A year ago, me and Josh and I think Mike was part of the crew then. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
We were sued
covered-
by Microsoft. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I-
And we
We've almost
lost
got-
big time.
we almost got sued by Nintendo, but I won't get into that on the podcast.
I'm too good at Super Metroid, guys.
Cool.
It was about Super Metroid. Were you following those emails? Where I may or may not have gotten to the point of challenging Nintendo to the point where me and Nintendo were going to have to go to court
Sometimes Nintendo does
over
silly
the
things.
Super Metroid video.
Should
and
we be talking about this? No, but
And I-
okay. Too late now.
I stopped it and said, this isn't worth it. When I really think about it, it's because I reached a break point where I was like, how much money is Nintendo making off that goddamn video? And all it is me and Josh talking about like virtual reality while he plays Super Metroid in the background, and Nintendo gets all the profit from this video. Fuck them. Let's see how far we can go. And I remembered that Nintendo is a video game company that makes billions of dollars, and I should probably stop.
They can
Anyways,
they can probably hire a much better lawyer than we could.
oh, who said we were going to hire a lawyer? See, that's the sad.
I
This
watched-
is me, Josh, and
I
Mike
watched a lot of law
understand, like, we
procedurals.
deserve this
I can
money
do this.
because.
Hey, I watched My Cousin Vinny a couple weeks ago. That's they use that in law school to actually
Yeah.
teach procedures.
All right.
So, I mean,
Ray,
I basically know exactly
Ray.
what to do.
Email Nintendo. We're going for it.
We're going.
I mean,
calling it to no.
What
Get
do I
them
got
the
going
line.
on? I'm not busy.
We're gonna stick it to Big Nintendo, and
You
yeah,
have,
it's gonna be great.
you have to tell the baby Metroid, here's why we went destitute. I challenged the big N.
Remember me.
Boss. Anyways,
Video games.
So off topic. Back on topic. About a year or so ago, Jim Sterling was sued by Digital Homicide. Now, I gave a slight bit of credit to Digital Homicide because I said, for all their ranting and raving and threatening to Jim Sterling, for them to actually nut up and do it, I got to give them a little bit of credit for doing that. And they totally took Jim Sterling to court in Arizona. And as of 3 days ago, we are recording this on February 23rd, 2017. So, about on February 20th, their court case was finally dismissed with prejudice. So, the Romaine brothers are not allowed to bring this up to a court of law ever again for this particular reason.
Didn't they also close down the
So
studio a couple
hilarious.
weeks or months ago? Like, there's something like that.
They closed down their
not
studio
gone well
because they tried to sue 100 people on Steam. The Steam, the name of the group that they were suing was Digital Homicide Poop Gaming. Was the name of the group, and that group just would report every time Digital Homicide released a game and told everyone on Steam not to buy it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say a really, really outlandish statement. The guys at Digital Homicide aren't that bright. I said it.
just going out there.
Fuck with me.
Just putting that out. And so they tried to sue Digital Homicide Poop Gaming, which they had their anonymous names. So some of the names were like Devil Reaver Sword. We're taking them to court. Of course, we need their real names, so they petitioned Steam to give them their real name.
I'm sure that'd go
And
well.
Steam said, Valve. They petitioned Valve to give them their real name, and Valve said, get off the shop. They just kicked them and all of their games off of Steam.
That's beautiful. Take it outside.
Yeah.
Not only are we not going to give you the
It gets
name,
better.
we're just not going to let you distribute on our platform anymore. Fuck you.
Simple.
Have fun on itch.
It gets even better. So once
Yeah.
that happened, the Romaine brothers on their website declared, well, now we're going to think about suing Valve. We're going to speak with our legal resources to see how far we can take a lawsuit with Valve. And Valve said, do it.
They are using their cousin Vinny as their legal resource.
Can you imagine if two independent games developers that are just throwing a temper tantrum tried to sue motherfucking Valve? People that I am convinced do nothing except discuss when the next Steam sale is going to be, then wait for the money to roll in.
Yeah, they have about as much.
I think Breitbart has a couple positions if they're looking for something. I mean,
I
don't know.
They really need. Yeah, I hear they need a new shit stirrer.
just apply that to your sensitive areas because of how topical that humor was.
Gets me hot and bothered.
Oh boy, not that topical. Oh boy.
That was a good one. So the court case is over. It's completely over. And now Jim Sterling is apparently going to have this massive video where he's essentially just going to brag about it.
It's just 30.
He's made
It's
a
just
teaser
30
trailer
minutes of
to
Jim
the
Sterling
video.
wagging his dick, just like over and over again.
just spanking it
What
in
up,
front of the
brothers Romaine?
camera onto a picture of Digital Homicide's logo.
Just I'm assuming like helicopter
Yep.
style or something
Yep.
like that.
Just
I
a
mean,
half hour of that.
If we're gonna go like 2007 like shock internet style, then I mean that's what you gotta do, right? You just have the wolf bird like just going on in the background. It's just
I'd
be
watch
wrong
all
if I
30
said
minutes
I wasn't
of
looking
that.
forward to it.
the real question is if he started $1 million Kickstarter to fund that video, how quickly would it get funded? And how quickly would they hit the $10 million stretch goal? That's the real question. Is because some of it,
Every
people
$1 million
like Jim Sterling,
is an
and
extra
people love
30
it when Jim
minutes.
Sterling.
So,
No! Please stop.
Jim Sterling's not poor. His Patreon makes, and this is just his Patreon, not his YouTube ad revenue, makes over $10,000 a month before taxes. So he's doing all right. He's doing fine. There are some YouTubers who are more popular than Jim Sterling that don't make that much money per month.
PewDiePie's not going to
I
be
need to
making as
become a
much money per month.
flamboyant,
Speaking of YouTubers. Ha!
Hey, words hurt, Josh.
So I wanted to ask you guys what games you're playing before I get to what games I'm playing. So let's start right here with Mike. What games you playing, Mike?
I've been playing. What have I been playing? That's a great question. I've been
Played a couple
playing.
games, Mike.
I've been playing a couple things. I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Moon.
Which
I'm
one?
not very
cool.
far in. I'm just starting, just kind of scratching the surface there.
I'm gonna ask your opinion about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like an hour in, so I don't have too much to offer there, but it's Pokemon, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'll keep updating that as more happens there. But I think the thing I've been playing a little bit of Westerado Double Barreled, which is pretty a fun little thing. I like it. But I think the thing I've been spending most of my time with lately is a game called For Honor.
Oh yeah, I've been considering buying that, but I haven't pulled the trigger.
You know, it's from Ubisoft, and the basic premise is that there are your three factions. You got your samurai, you got your Vikings, and your knights. And okay. So you take like your Dark Souls.
Okay, I'm in. Go. I'm in.
And then you're walking down the street with your Dark Souls, and you accidentally bump into someone with his Battlefield, and you're like, "Hey, you got your Battlefield in my Dark Souls. You got your Dark Souls in my Battlefield." Like, it's that kind of thing, because there's this kind of slow-paced, weighty, kind of interesting kind of depth to the melee combat, but you also have things
Hello,
like
Joshua.
controlling zones, and then once the enemy team kind of runs out of tickets,
I'm playing a little bit of For Honor here.
then they're kind of breaking, and you have to.
It's going all right. I'm really not good at this game, but
clean 'em up, and then
so I'm playing through some more of the campaign. I'm recording some footage to get myself learned up a bit here, but
Dark Souls doesn't really have. I mean,
you know,
for each of
it
those
is
three factions, there's 4 characters.
I'm trying.
They all
There's
have
a lot to
like
learn.
different
It's fun.
moves.
It's really cool.
I
I enjoy it.
jump back and hold like the
of storms,
shield
Um,
break button with this character. I kind
the
of wind up
samurai
the shield
gods are of
charge.
fire, of wind, and of thought.
And kind of things like that, and different
The gods
traits.
of the
And,
night are
there's a
iron,
lot going
steel,
on in that
and
game.
gold.
But yeah, like some of the single player stuff in this game is like
I think
It's-
the first couple hours I wasn't sure.
it's
how much I
surprisingly,
liked it,
like,
especially in multiplayer, 'cause I
interesting.
was
Like, it's kinda
"This is
cool."
getting my butt kicked. This is
I was not sure if it would be good or not.
just the past couple days or so. I kind of put it together. I mean, you really have to play it. I was just.
So it's
you
kinda
really
cool
have to
that it,
figure
like,
out how to
is
balance
that good.
progression, when to attack, like what you can get away with.
Yeah.
Once you kind of learn some of that stuff,
'Cause it's kind of a weird,
it's pretty cool. Like it's a
it's a
really
weird
neat
thing,
kind of,
but it's neat.
a neat kind of game, and I think you've got a little bit of like Ubisoft-iness with
Uh-oh.
big old season pass and some microtransaction stuff. But other than that,
But how is your
I mean,
day
having
going,
some
my
good
friend?
time.
I saw your
I've got a
Facebook
little
post
footage of it uploaded
about your baby,
as well.
which is exciting.
Yeah, that's,
I've been a little skeptical before. Like, I have some coworkers that are playing it, and I haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Just a pretty normal day for you.
Is because
I was
they have
actually,
weapon and armor affecting microtransactions in the game.
Oh, the Dublin?
Dublin,
I'm
yeah, we had
really
a,
not cool with that.
we
I
had a
know that
team
they say
meeting
that,
and,
the
so we were
weapon
out there.
stats and the armor stats, there's
Was
some
on the
tit
road
for
for a
tat
bit
going
today,
on, like
and
it
then,
makes your
had
sword
our
hit your place
teacher
faster,
conferences.
but it won't hit as hard. And I think you can attest, Mike, that
Yeah,
when it's like a
it's-
Dark Souls style
So,
game, you can
that-
just
that was
min-max
fun.
that shit and you paid money for it.
Very nice.
I mean, from what I've experienced, a lot of it's kind of like side grade type stuff. Like I haven't seen. I mean, first of all, it's pretty generous about letting you kind of.
I just went to work,
I guess giving you the kind of.
went to work, came
Like,
back.
oh,
It's
the
a pretty
only
normal
way-
day
the
for
only way I
me.
can
It's
actually be good at this
Tuesday.
game is if I spend,
I
like,
wish
an
it was
extra
already
50
the
hours.
weekend again, but
I mean, certainly if you did that, you'll unlock
Such
a
is
lot,
life.
a lot of other cool stuff.
I am
Which,
I am
we'll get into
deeply
that.
saddened by
I
the
personally
departure
don't
of Drew from Giant
Me too,
Bomb.
In my
Like,
opinion, but
I cannot even believe
as
it.
far as the weapon upgrade stuff, to me it looked like I just mentioned, kind of a lot of side grade stuff. So There might be some
It's
kind of a weapon hilt, a sword hilt, or a sword handle, or a blade that has
And then I
the stat
had a moment, I was
change
like,
that you
oh my
want
God.
more than
This
what
means
you're
that nobody
finding
from
right
SMM
now.
will actually work a time
But
bomb,
nothing.
or it's
For
like,
me, I
was
haven't
like,
seen a lot of
and then
things
they
that are just
they were
a raw, a straight upgrade.
they were still going to
Something
get
being
together and do a
clearly better
F1 podcast like
without
a
having
little,
a trade-off.
less
So I
worry,
think
but
they're
still.
pretty good about.
But I need
so
my
far,
pods.
they're pretty good about avoiding something that
Speedy go-cars?
Kind of
Yeah, it's
unfair
like, what's-
or.
How do I keep up in the world of speedy go-cars? What do I do?
I'm getting a little bit deeper into it, but
They've been
I'm
instrumental
still
in me
kind of
getting
on
back
the
into
surface because
Formula
there is a
1.
lot
Like,
to.
They can't be gone.
A lot to that game.
But why would you take my speedy go-cars from me? Drew? Drew, do you hate speedy go-cars? Is that why you're doing this, Drew?
It's got a surprisingly. I mean, there's not. It's not
But I'm
exactly
also very excited to see what they've got,
if you will,
Horizon.
or other storytelling and character building. But what
On
is
the
there is,
Zero Dawn.
just enough to get you kind of interested in the kind of the world they've created.
Huh.
There are a couple like,
Oh, I'm
kind
just
of moments.
axing these people in the head, and it feels all right.
Like kind of fun moments. So it's.
Let
I
me
think it's
ask
definitely
you a
capable of
question.
playing. If you have the game.
Oh,
I
there's
don't
that
think
scary.
it's
Oh, that lady's scary. Uh-oh.
like Titanfall, where it almost justifies the price of the whole game by itself. But I think
Yeah, I
it-
don't know
she's
about
scary.
$60 for this game.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
I think I mean with the multiplayer, I think. that
Oh,
there's
she's
lot
yelling a
in
lot.
there.
Oh my.
But and I would really, and if personally,
I'm not no
going
fucking
through the
raider.
single player, it helped me kind of figure out what to actually
Oh.
do.
Yeah, like some of the single player stuff in this game is surprisingly engaging for something that's kind of mostly a multiplayer thing. Like I was not expecting it, but it's pretty all right.
You know a lot. You have a much better idea of what you can get away with, and what approach is going to work, and what.
But like it's a little silly, but it kind of embraces it, so it works.
Far, I'm kind of digging it, and that's mostly what I've been playing. Other than just a little bit more Overwatch here and there. Josh, what have you been playing?
Been working on Doom a little bit more here and there, making some progress.
Oh, what was that? Oh, I just like axed you in the face.
Also got
More like it.
Hitman. Been working on the.
She wasn't even done
areas
talking
and
smack to
finally
me, and
moved
I
on
heard
to
I already
Marrakesh.
crushed her.
That game still. That level made me have one of those like. Holy
Oh, that guy
shit,
looks scary.
A, video games have come a long way moments, and B.
Stilgander
totally
is his
awesome.
name.
Mike especially will know what I'm talking about. Marrakesh is basically this massive
Ah! Ha 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 ha!
in Morocco.
Oh.
And there are just
Okay. Yeah, once I think this mission's almost done, and then I'll
there's
play
this,
some game
like,
with you.
protests going on outside of an embassy, but just like the amount of
Jarl.
on screen.
I'm on the Viking
the way
chapter of
47 works through that area. It's
things.
just incredible.
So I'm talking to Stilgander, the Jarl.
It feels like
Jarl.
Holy shit!
It's really fun.
They are rendering a lot of shit right now.
Oh, and he's wearing a little bear skin, and his bear has a nose ring. That's kind of crazy.
It was time to
Yeah, that game is
birthright.
I mean, I still go back and check in on the new elusive targets, and yeah, there's I think some of my favorite. I think my favorite maps are, it's probably one of those first three. Yeah. The later ones are still good, but I think those first three are just. They're just. So
I haven't
good.
played those yet. I'm kind of trying to like self-gate my progress, kind of like I'm playing it like the episodes were released, just so I'm not just blowing through it, but I'm actually like getting to know each level. So I've been kind of pacing myself a bit. Get in, do a couple missions here.
Yeah.
Playing. I'm not doing any long sessions or anything like that. Just getting in, getting a little bit of the mastery, some of the different challenges and whatnot, and just started Marrakesh. So. And then one other game I've been playing, and you saw the footage of this, in the last video is I have been playing a lot of Project Cars recently. That game is incredible. I know this game's been out for a while, but as somebody who is a racing fan, especially for open wheel racing, I watch a lot of Formula One and have been watching it a lot recently. Mm-hmm. This game is really, really cool in the fact that I can see things that I know about racing and know about cars in place in this game. And it's a really good mix of being able to get really granular with your car as far as the setup goes, as you can get in and you can set your tire pressures, your brake balance, how much fuel you want to have, how you want to do your pit strategies. You don't have to do all that, but you can. So there's levels of how real life simulation do you want to be. But a really good example of this, for anybody who knows racing, so there are different compounds of tires, and there are different types of tires for wet racing and for dry racing. I was on a race, and you can see it in our last video, where it was raining at the start. It was a 2-lap sprint race. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the lead, driving. I get up to the pit. It's still raining, so I'm like, okay, I don't need to go in. As I get past the pits, the rain starts to slow down. Wet tires do not do well in dry conditions because they're a softer compound, so they get hotter faster and then they start to degrade. So I'm still pushing pretty hard even though I'm in the lead, and I get towards the end, and if you notice, the little indicator shows my back tires are getting hot and degrading. I take a corner at a speed that I think I should be able to, and I spin because my tires are shit now. And it's just stuff like that where you're like, huh, yeah, that's what would happen. I've seen that happen in actual races where somebody went up.
The hubris.
I've seen people be a little ballsy and try and get a little further on their wet tires or change to wets too early and mess up because they've ruined their tires. So it's a lot of fun. And the cars that they have, it's a very full game. There's so many different kinds of cars, from stock cars that you'll see that you can, buy on the shelf, very bespoke racers of really high-end Aston Martins and stuff like that. And then your open wheel racers, you have other smaller go-karts, and they all feel very different. Like I'm playing my campaign, my actual racing series. I'm playing in the Formula 3 equivalent. I think they call it Formula C. I did a couple races of just dicking around in the Formula 1 car, the Formula A. I can't drive that car. It's too hard to drive. It took a lot for me to figure out how that car actually works. Cool. It's it doesn't feel the same way. And the way I put the power down in the Formula 3 car is a lot different the way I put it in the Formula 1 car. And you can't drive it that way or you'll spin and crash and die like I do every time. So,
it's more than just I'm gonna be the medium weight character in Mario Kart versus the heavyweight character in Mario Kart.
The cars feel different. I did a race with I think I did an Aston Martin racing car, and even that car felt incredibly different than and plus I play in the first person view, so in the cockpit versus the open. It's a really fun game. And I have it on the medium realistic difficulty. So there's some real stuff with the tires, but not the full Monty there. So that's been a lot of fun, and requires a lot of concentration too. The other day I was in a race, and I looked at something for a second. I turned back and I'd spun around and crashed. So it's it's pretty good as far as racing. This is by far my favorite racing sim. So I've been having a lot of fun with that game.
Nice. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and racing sims are just a genre I have just never understood. I've tried things like Drive Club and stuff in the past, and it just
I used to play
for me. So
I used to bounce off them pretty hard. Things like Gran Turismo, a little bit of oh my god, what the one on Xbox. Forza. You know, stuff like that. Never really latched on to it. I think because of the nature of this game with having the ability to be really high end or really casual, and also I think also my recent resurgence in my interest in racing has helped, but something about this game has really grasped me that no other sim racing game has. Yeah,
I'm glad
so
you're
that's
enjoying it. You sound very enthused about it.
It's a lot of fun.
All right.
I can't say enough about it. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Well, then I shall get into what I've been playing. I have completed Bayonetta 2.
Oh wow, you got through that quick.
I mean, it's a spectacle action game, spectacle slasher, whatever you want to call them. They typically last between 8 to 10 hours at the most. So just play through it on a weekend.
Yeah, that's not
hours, blast it through.
That's not bad. What'd you think?
It's good. It's fun. It felt easier than the first game. The first game there's a mechanic in the game called Witch Time. It's where you dodge an enemy's attack, and you get to, if you do it right before the enemy attacks you, Witch Time activates and time slows down. It's basically bullet time, and you get 3 seconds to capitalize on the fact that the enemy just whiffed their attack. So go ahead, do a quick combo, do a quick powerful attack, charge up a heavy attack, whatever you want to do. And in the first game, Witch Time was there as well. But in the second game, Witch Time is a whole lot more forgiving. You could just, and it's attached to the R button, the R trigger. You could just spam that son of a bitch, and you'll just, every time you see an enemy about to come, spam, spam, spam. Especially if you have any experience with, like Mike and me, with Dark Souls or Bloodborne, and you've got dodging down to a science because your life fucking depended on it.
Like, I can just dodge forever. Oh.
There's no stamina meter. There's no timing. It's just like, here comes the enemy. They're about to attack. You're like, all right, how many invincibility frames are about to gain from this? 3 to 4 seconds. Oh, that's an eternity. I don't know what to do with this much time. So yeah, I felt the game. I don't know what the game over screen in that game looks like. I never lost a single life in that game. That's not me. Like super bragging like I'm a super player. I'm saying that I think the game felt kind of easy. I think I'm still coming off of the Bloodborne high of where you play a game so stupidly hard, all other games just seem kind of easy sitting next to it.
Yeah, when you're used to having to
Dark Souls hangover,
having to like the Dark Souls Bloodborne style discipline that you need to play through those games and actually enjoy them. When you play games that don't really need that, at least on kind of normal difficulties, then it's like, oh, huh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like playing games on like super hard difficulties because the hardness doesn't come from any more skill. The difficulty comes from this enemy now just has more health, or there are just more enemies on the screen. You didn't do anything to actually ramp up the skill factor of the game. You just ramped up the unfair factor of the game.
Is that not what you wanted? I mean, you said you wanted the game to be harder, so we made it harder.
So Bloodborne or Dark Souls is hard because the enemies hit harder and they punish you for missing your dodges. So the game is forcing more skill. Now, if it was Bloodborne, except they just added more enemies to the area, I don't believe that the skill check. I'll give you a better example. Big Daddy G in Bloodborne is a son of a bitch. Not because there's several of him. No, because he fucks you every time you fuck up. That's half your health bar gone when you fuck up that dodge. Oh, Big Daddy G don't give a damn about you the first time you meet him. Even when you go up on like a new game plus, you still have to bring your A game because he'll still fuck you. I bet I'd
take him on my first try.
Fuck you, Josh.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at video games.
I did try
especially Dark Souls. Anybody who's seen me stream on Twitch knows of my Dark Souls prowess.
I have seen you stream on Twitch. Yes, and that's why I say fuck you. There's nothing of what you're saying right now that I believe.
So good.
My favorite part of the Dark Souls Josh run that I still love to this day was when the bridge demon, or like I think it's the Taurus demon, the guy who jumps up on the bridge, and Josh is just like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy. I'm gonna run away and tries to run back through the fog door. It's like, no,
nope, there's none of that.
You can't go back now, son. There's only one path, and it's through the scary boss guy.
Or when I listen to the chat and they're like, "Hey, you should try and kill that guy."
Don't I told you not to.
When has chat ever led anybody wrong ever?
You think someone would just do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? Who would do that?
Nobody.
Nobody ever at all.
I would say certainly not our president.
Especially not in positions of power.
Certainly not.
No, I wasn't going to say it, but there you go. There you go.
No, he would never.
Anyways.
No.
I was trying to get back into Fire Emblem Heroes, and all Fire Emblem Heroes on my phone makes me want to do is play Fire Emblem Birthright, so I'm getting back into Fire Emblem Birthright.
Hey, I took
a small break from that.
Mission accomplished, Nintendo. Good job.
I mean, I already own the game, so... Is this because this is not like the only time that this has happened to me? All of Nintendo's mobile products make me want to just say, "Fuck this piece of shit." Let me go play something that actually is good. Like for Super Mario Run, I wanted to go actually play Super Mario World. For Fire Emblem Heroes, I wanted to go back to Fire Emblem Fates. For Pokemon Go, I went and wanted to play an actual Pokemon game. Is this some kind of like?
Honest. They said that they're gonna release 2 to 3 mobile games every year. If you don't think that those are going to slightly coincide with the big tentpole releases for the Switch that year, you're crazy. Those things are revenue machines as far as they want the microtransactions and to drive you towards buying the big product. Reminding you like, hey, there's a bigger version of this game for a console you might have or could get.
Yeah, there's a better version of this.
Why don't you?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Fire Emblem Heroes is still a good game. It's still a fine game for anyone that's playing it. I
have not played it since our last podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not doing the game didn't.
But
do
I
anything
have looked into 3DS
to
emulation to try and play one of the games one of the Fire Emblem games you guys recommended to me.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
3DS emulation's getting pretty good, actually.
Awakening,
not great,
by the
but
way.
It's getting good.
It's getting there.
Awakening is the way to go.
Awakening is really good.
Those are the games I think I've been playing. Oh, I bought a Humble Bundle. There was the Humble Freedom
That's
Bundle.
how I got Project Cars. No, it's
your...
not. That was from a Bandai Namco bundle. Never mind. Shut up, Josh.
I lied.
I got like 30 or 40 games out of that, so I'm gonna start experimenting around with those.
Yeah,
what goodness comes out of that.
That bundle is past, but that was a real good bundle.
It was incredible.
Yeah, I snapped it up for $30.
A good message behind it, and I think we haven't really decided anything, but I know at least Mike and I both have duplicate codes. I'm thinking we might think of
for
some
a couple of things here,
some
and
giveaways in the near future. Or contests to get rid of some of those duplicate codes. I think.
By all means, hold them.
I think
by all means.
I have a witness code. That's a big one. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I got the witness also in that bundle deal, so I'm finally gonna give that a shot.
See, I already bought the witness, so I have a free code. So we'll figure something out in the future.
We'll figure something out. Yeah,
just make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Unscripted Gaming or Unscript_gaming. Just keep current with that.
You never know. Something might happen.
Keep plugging away. Okay. There's also I wanted to go ahead and get into, since we've spent about 35 minutes talking about ourselves. Let's go ahead and I wanted to talk about some happenings last week. And first, I want to start first and foremost. First of all, if you are looking for the NES Classic and you have an Amazon Prime account as of February 23rd, 2017, go get it now on Amazon for the $60 retail price, but only if you have a Amazon Prime account, and while supplies last. Apparently, Nintendo got a little bit of stock. They sent it to Amazon, and Amazon is only giving it to their subscription members at the moment. So, there's my job done for you guys that want to get it. I don't care about the NES Classic anymore. My care has passed. I actually want a Raspberry Pi now, honestly.
Yeah,
also,
I think
what was...
I'm curious to see how this stock will sell through. I'm sure it'll do fine, but there's also the possibility that Nintendo really might have missed the boat, and they had the problem they didn't want all along, where they're going to have stock sitting on the shelves because they can't sell through it.
I mean, I think I sent you guys the official numbers that I found the other day. When Nintendo only shipped 200,000 classic NESs to North America,
we had a bit of an offline discussion about this. While Nintendo really did fuck up with the mini NES, some of that responsibility doesn't lay on them. Anybody who's a fan of tech and devices in general will kind of know that this year has been really tough on the supply side from China, with lots of manufacturers struggling to keep up with demand for products. And if you look at the iPhone, you look at the Samsung Galaxy, you look at the Google Pixel, you look at the Google Wi-Fi, even some smaller things like Raspberry Pi and Arduino boards have RAM prices have gone through the fucking roof. So hardware's been really tough this year. So I think Nintendo might have had a plan to release some, build the hype, and then bring back more for the holidays, and then the supply chain let them down in some way. So that's my personal theory. Unfortunately, it's taken them this long. Even PlayStation 4s and PSVRs have been out of stock since the holidays. It's just it's unfortunate that happened, and that the whole weird market around them came. And again, I'm sure this stock will sell through fine, but I could also foresee people being so burned by
so jaded, so people just I don't care anymore.
I don't care, or
Yeah,
it's just, Josh, you were the biggest defender of this. Do you?
No,
care?
not at all. I never really plan on getting one anyway. You
talked to high heaven about getting one. I thought
it was cool, and I think it would be neat to have a little mini one of those in the house. But I have a Nintendo. I have an original NES, and I emulate a lot of stuff because that's just the kind of guy that I am. So having a mini NES,
good thing you own all those games, right?
Now, mini SNES, that's another story. I'll buy the shit out of that, but.
Ooh. I'm with you. A mini SNES, I'm in. I'll pre-order that son of a bitch.
There are some games on that collection that I am looking at, either getting a hold of or downloading to play a little further, just because I think it intrigues me in a way. But I'm not going to buy one of these.
What about a mini Virtual Boy?
Sign me up.
It's just like it's like the same. It's like a Virtual Boy, but just even smaller. So it's you can't even use it. It's a little pair of tiny binoculars.
Oh, that's
who says no? Who doesn't want that?
That is actually awful.
Okay, well that's why I don't work at Nintendo anymore. My uncle still does though, and Mew's still under the truck. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. But I wanted to, I guess some other news that I saw was interesting. It's worth mentioning since we still play a little bit of this game. Overwatch is dropping some teases for their next character.
Not gonna happen.
It's Doomfist.
It's actually probably not. It doesn't look like it's gonna be Doomfist. Actually.
All right, it's fine. It's not Doomfist.
Well, there you have it. I mean, you heard it here first, folks. Not Doomfist.
Not Doomfist.
A lot of people are speculating. I mean, people. It sounds like it is. People are leaning towards another tank character, and maybe someone more kind of closer to the Reinhardt end of that spectrum, than someone like another Roadhog or Winston, who's technically a tank, but which I'm really in for, because a lot of times it feels like you kind of have to have a Reinhardt because he's the only true tank. So I think someone else who can kind of fill that role adds a little bit of diversity, which is kind of nice. So we don't really we don't know too much right now, but there might be some news coming out about that. Probably, I honestly probably next Tuesday, especially with PAX coming up so soon, when they might kind of do some like kind of breakdown or just show more. They like to time those announcements right around kind of big events like that. So I would imagine that we are going to be hearing more about that on a pretty quick timetable compared to Sombra stuff.
You mean
keep your eye out for
the Sombra stuff that took basically from its launch to her release?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. And let's see, there's actually a lot of little bits.
Big news is huge. In 1 week from now, 1 week from now, the Switch will be available to the public.
Yeah, that's actually another piece of news I wanted to mention, because there was there's a lot of things coming out, like there's like the Crash Bandicoot remaster trilogy that's coming out. I wonder if Crash is still good. I'm going to be interested to find out about that.
It's probably
Horizon
not.
Zero Dawn's Shut up, Josh.
Man, Horizon Zero Dawn really makes me wish I had a PS4 right now.
Really?
That game looks so good. I might get that.
It's getting some really solid reviews, so I might be. I might have to see about maybe picking that up, and so we can get some firsthand impressions on it. But one kind of late breaking news bit here that's kind of crazy is that the apparently several outlets who have Nintendo Switch consoles for preview are reporting left Joy-Con synchronization problems, and this includes people from Kotaku, Polygon. Jeff Gerson of Giant Bomb said he was having some issues as well.
So far, of all the people you've named, only one of those I trust, and it's not Polygon or Kotaku.
Hey, you know what?
Okay, well,
I know you have prejudice against Polygon and Kotaku, but they do some really good reporting. They do some shit stuff too, but they get some hard hitting stuff too.
Okay.
But it seems like it's not it seems like it's a reproducible kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't think this is gonna be like a,
death nail.
I don't think this is like, everyone switch DOA, dead on arrival, everybody panic. And console launches have obviously recovered from worse hiccups, like the 360 red rings, like that whole crazy thing. And I mean, even just looking at how like the Xbox One launched and what that initially was, and how they've kind of really turned. I mean, that was obviously a more complicated issue than something that just might be like a minor kind of software bug. But this might be an interesting thing to keep our eyes on and see if it's if it's something that they can kind of do a firmware quick fix for, or if it is something hardware wise. But I also did see, again, the last thing I want to do is drum up a bunch of kind of fake controversy here. I know that Nintendo.
I mean, new hardware has wonky things. It happens literally every time. They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Definitely. And when the Wii first launched, I believe that Nintendo was with ones that had some kind of manufacturing or out of the box kind of issues. Nintendo was really good about getting those replaced. So I'm not going to.
I had to have the laser in my Wii replaced, but it was a pretty easy and pretty quick process.
Yeah, so I mean they have the if it is something like that, I certainly hope it's not something that they can fix easily, but it sounds like they in the past they've done the right thing when something like that has come up. So I imagine that would be the same case as well. I mean, obviously it's not ideal, but I wouldn't.
Well, consider this. As you just said, like the the Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death, which I don't know about you guys, but mine totally suffered from one. But whose didn't? Honestly?
I never had a Red Ring. I got an Xbox in 2009, so a few years after I got a.
Oh yeah, all those issues.
Those issues worked out by then.
Up by then. Yeah, mine was an earlier model, and of course it got it. Of course it did. That cost Microsoft like $1 billion, or $1.5 billion to address, and I don't know if that's addressing the class action lawsuit that they were facing.
There for a while, Microsoft was trying to sell off the Xbox division because it was costing them so much money. Like they were shopping it around, like, anybody want this?
Yeah,
and want this dumpster fire?
And consider this, this is Microsoft. This is a name, I don't know about all you guys, but I think every single home almost has like a Microsoft product in it. Not every single home is going to have a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo product in it. So I don't know if Nintendo could weather a storm of something fundamentally wrong with their controls. As you said, this is probably nothing. This is probably something that'll probably get easily fixed. But if it's not, holy shit, they would have to address that second run of consoles really quick to get that fixed.
Mm-hmm. So that might be an interesting thing to see, kind of.
I'll let you know when I get mine in a week if I have that issue.
Yeah. You'll have to. And you said you're getting Zelda as well, right?
I'm left with no other options. That's another thing about the Switch. What else would I get?
You get Bomberman.
You could always get 1-2 Switch.
That game is getting shit reviews. Bomberman R is getting some pretty fucked up reviews.
Again, I understand that you probably think 1-2 Switch should probably be a pack-in. I agree with you.
I do think it should be a pack-in because that game. You can't convince me that fucking game is worth $50.
Big butt incoming.
Okay.
But I watched some people play through some 1-2 Switch. First of all, there was a lot more games in it than I expected, and I was like, oh, so it's like almost 30 instead of like almost 12. I mean, which is kind of not. It's not exactly a ton, but
hey, those videos weren't cheap to film.
I could see it. No, hey, it's a very high production quality. I appreciate that. I appreciate good trappings. But
that big dude cracks me up.
This is kind of fun little thing. I don't know if it's like gonna be timeless like an instant blockbuster hit like Wii Sports was, but I was like, I don't know. I can kind of see this as like a fun kind of party thing. Like,
it would be a cool party thing, and it would totally be a great game to like get people invested into the HD motion control for the Switch. But not for $50.
Yeah, so
I can't see people that are going out to buy a Switch like, yeah, I'm gonna get a Switch, 1-2 Switch, Zelda. No, it's probably like I'm gonna get the Switch and Zelda and maybe a couple downloadable games, maybe 1 or 2.
Just get Puyo Puyo Tetris.
That's not even a release title.
I think it's in the spring though, so it's not too far away, which is nice.
Yeah, it's not too far. Can I go ahead and switch gears for a moment?
Yes.
I am a huge Mass Effect fan. And to my shock, in like 12 days, Mass Effect Andromeda comes out.
Man, that game just snuck out. That's crazy.
I am shocked and surprised EA and BioWare are showing and saying so little about this game beyond like, here's the release date, buy it if you want. Like, give me a reason to get back into this universe because I want to. I am the idiot that when I first turned on Mass Effect 1, I was so captivated by its sci-fi story, I spent the first 4 hours of the game reading every single sentence of the codex. Just because I am that guy.
Oh, that's a lot of codex.
That was a shitload of codex. 4 hours.
I mean, it's like that's like encountering like a little bit of Destiny lore and then logging into Bungie.com on your smartphone app and then reading all of the grimoire. That's what you did. I just want to point that out.
At least
that's exactly what you did.
At least the codex was on the game disc. If I would have read the Bungie Grimoire cards if it was on the disc. If the Bungie Grimoire cards were on the game and I could sit down in front of my TV and read them, I would have. But when it said go to a different turn the game off, go to a different website, I flipped the game off and said, "What the fuck are you telling me to do? What? Go fuck yourself." I'm not going to no other website to read your story. Anyways, but I really, really want to be interested in Andromeda, but I not even consider pre-ordering it. I'm not even considering picking it up day one. I don't know what to think about this game. Beyond that, it's another Mass Effect game, and that seems like it's doing the series a disservice.
Josh, were you ever a big Mass Effect person?
I've never played Mass Effect.
Had played. Because I had played through.
I feel like I would like those games. And I knowing what I know about the story and what I've heard, I think I would. I just haven't.
Yeah. It's kind of like. It's just
They're really good games.
I think of it as like Star Trek, like what a good Star Trek video game would be like. I feel like it would be kind of like Mass Effect. That's what I think.
That's not a bad analogy.
It's not. That's why I said it, because it's a good analogy.
Damn!
Son. I mean, with kind of like the politics between like the different races and the different worlds you're kind of exploring, and the cultures, like all that stuff's pretty cool. And I didn't play 3, but I am kind of, I am interested to see, like, I mean, it's, I'm really interested to see, like, what. I haven't been exactly blown away by the footage that I kind of was watching.
Not by Andromeda, no.
I don't know. I think I'm with you, Stan. I mean, I certainly trust those developers. I mean, those Mass Effect is a pretty well respected and appreciated series for a good reason. Yeah, I mean, I think oh my gosh, I just had a total brain fart. I think I'm kind of the jury's still out for me as well. But I am. Yeah. I certainly don't wish it to fail, but I really do hope that they. I think I'm willing to buy a ticket to the Mass Effect, hype train.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to buy a ticket. I just want to see if it's something. I just want to hold off a little bit, but I'm definitely down for some good Mass Effect.
Are they just like so confident that the game will sell that they just decided like. Just fuck the marketing for this game? Is that what's going on? I don't know. I don't get it. I've never seen a game that has such a well-to-do pedigree just like have so little fanfare about the fact that it's coming out in a couple days.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of strange. I mean, I guess there's something to be said for not wanting to, overexpose it or something like that. But
sure, it's absolutely.
It is kind of interesting.
But have you seen anything for this game beyond just like that trailer that gameplay trailer that came out like 5 months ago?
They've got a couple things like I think today they put up a couple trailers about some character creation, and they've got some interviews with the actors and actresses. Like Natalie Dormer is doing a character, and she just had a taped interview that went up today. So they're just doing a little bit, but there hasn't been hasn't been like a big push. Like I remember the pushes for like Mass Effect 3 was like huge.
I'm not asking him to go No Man's Sky and just go to the point of no return of this better be the most epic game of all time for what the fuck you're marketing this to be.
I should check in on that game again.
Go ahead, waste your time.
Oof.
All right.
Oof.
Can we move on to the story I'm most excited about?
Yes.
So,
please.
For some of you may know that AMD is getting ready to get back in the processor game. They are releasing the Ryzen 7 chip on March 2nd. And pricing information has been put out there. Why this is so exciting. These chips, from what they claim.
No, I know why it's exciting. Yeah, go ahead.
Amazing. for two reasons. First and foremost is the price. Their top chip is an octa-core with 16 threads for $499. The equivalent Intel chip, an i7 7960 or something like that K, is $1,100.
Dang.
A $600 savings on the chip, really speaking to just how overpriced Intel chips have been. Because if you look at the graph of where the market share has gone over the last few years, Intel has like 80-90% of the CPU market, and AMD has the remaining 10 to 20, which is nothing. AMD hasn't released a new CPU since 2011 when they released the FX series chips, which they still sell today. Also, these chips draw a lot less power. The equivalent, the i7-6700K that I have in my computer takes about, I think the high end is 90 watts. The equivalent Ryzen chip does 65 watts. So the power consumption for these is a lot less. Also, the equivalent. So like I bought an i7-6700K, which was the top of the line, for that level. The equivalent Ryzen chip is $199. I bought that for about $300. So, kind of taking off there. It really gives.
Yeah, it's I mean, just looking at like the raw like sticker price of that is crazy. I mean, we kind of have to. I don't want to poop on the parade here, but I want to wait and see what some of the benchmarks.
Yes.
Are like once other people kind of get their hands on them, but just looking at that pricing itself is, I mean, that's nuts.
And I will say, if you look at the clock speeds, they are slightly lower than their i7, their Intel counterparts. Now for gamers, this may be a bit of a drawback, simply because with most, and I say most games, it's down to single core clock speed. Most games don't hit all the cores. Now, one thing about the Ryzen chips is they're all overclockable. Their X chips have a special AMD overclocking extreme that happens, but they're all unlocked and overclockable, which the Intels cannot say. But that being said, more and more games are starting to dip their toes in the multi-core bucket. So these chips may still perform at that level. Also, especially for mid to higher tier content creators, I mean, this is a no-brainer to be able to have the multitasking capability in such a affordable form factor. If I were building my PC, now instead of a few months ago, I would have a serious tough time considering which chip to buy, and it would need a lot of convincing to spend that extra $100-$200 for the Intel chip.
I want some real world benchmarks on this new AMD chip, because I a couple years ago bought a full AMD machine. I got their newest FX chip. I got their AMD 8-core processor. I forget the exact. I have it in the living room. I can get stats on that later. And I got an AMD video card, mid-tier video card, and it ran okay. But when I compared it to a low end, and I mean low end Intel machine, the low end Intel machine blew it out of the water. Low end Intel with a low end Nvidia card. So AMD, you got to prove to me you're now a competitive entity.
Well, and their graphics card business has been their graphics architecture has been pretty good the last few years. So that's encouraging. And they've actually, I think somebody just announced that the new 500 series Vulcan cards are being announced soon. But we'll be seeing stuff soon. Pre-orders for Ryzen chips and compatible motherboards and even pre-built machines are already live. And I think February 28th, the review embargo lifts. So a couple days before the chips go live. So we'll be seeing benchmarks of those here in just about a week. So either way, it's very...
I hope they do good. I want more
and
competition.
That's the biggest thing.
Space,
I want Intel to have competition, to be forced into that competition, because
they're fat and lazy right now. Oh, they're plumping on top of the world and just like, we got all the money and all the power, and who's this peon over here? Fuck you. What are you gonna do to us?
I won't see the benefits of that for several years, because I have a chip that I'm gonna have for a very long time. But if
you've kind of committed,
others out there benefit from that, or if it brings the cost of CPUs down and makes PC gaming more affordable and allows more people to easily get into that, that's not a bad thing to have happen. So I'm really excited and really hopeful that this chip set really delivers on what they are claiming to. I mean, we shall see. They're talking a big game about their 10% performance boost over this chip or that chip. So
I'm eager.
Yep.
I'm eager. Well, gentlemen, I think that should be it for the night.
I think so. I think that's
let's go ahead, wrap it.
I think we can call that a pod. Just make sure.
Josh, where can
you
people
can reach us on YouTube at Unscripted Gaming, Facebook.com at Unscripted Gaming, Twitter at Unscript_gaming. We are on SoundCloud at SoundCloud.com/unscripted-gaming. You can also find us on Google Play Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts. Get us in your earballs. Take us with you. Share us with your friends. Yeah.
And that's why we're ending the pod forever. Yep. Goodbye, everyone.
Did I win? Did I win the podcast?
Sure. Yeah, you did. You're right. Is this? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, you did.
Hooray for me.
How's it feel? Yeah, I bet it feels great.
It does feel good.
Goodbye, everybody.
Night, y'all.
Peace.